Tonight, coming your way, bringing you my next draft crush for the 49ers. And this one's big. This one feels very realistic, very real possibility. If you're going to predict stuff, this is one I feel better about, but we'll see how it goes. What up? I'm Seth Floyd Hansen. This is the Seth Floyd Show. Thank you for tuning in, guys. When I hit record on this video, we were at 372 subscribers. Thank you so much. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Help me to my goal, which is 500 by the beginning of football season. And yeah, you can make all my dreams come true. Just hit subscribe. It's free. I promise. I promise it's free. I won't charge you. So thank you for doing that. Tonight, talking my next draft crush, as I mentioned. And I think, I feel like this guy's going under the radar for the 49ers a little bit. I've heard other guys of his position group being talked and mocked the 49ers a bunch. But not this name. And I think it's a mistake. And it's one Gunnar Helm, tight end from the University of Texas. Now, this is a great tight end class, okay? One of the better tight end classes you've seen in a long time. It's highlighted, for sure, by Tyler Warren, which I've talked about Tyler Warren. I would love Tyler Warren on my team. It would take pick 11 or it would take a first rounder. Maybe you could trade back a few picks and still get him, but you're going to have to pick him high. And I think most 49er fans are against that, but I wouldn't rule it out. I think that's a possibility. Colston Loveland out of Michigan, he'd be a great pickup. And then from there, there's probably like a tier break, a little bit of a fall off, and you get these guys that are just going to be great values in the second and third rounds and could be starters right away. I'm thinking the guys that I have in mind, I like all of these guys, but I picked Gunnar Helm for one reason, but Harold Fannin Jr., a monster, best college tight end production season we've ever seen. You've also got like Mason Taylor. You have you've got Arroyo out of Miami. I'm blanking on his first name. That's what screwed me up. Elijah Arroyo out of Miami, who's really good. You've got and then you've got Gunnar Helm right there as well. So those are kind of the three guys: Mason Taylor, Arroyo, and Gunnar Helm, and Harold Fannin Jr. And it depends on what you value, depends on how you see them, how you project them to the next level. Here's why I like Gunnar Helm. Again, I would be happy with any one of those guys if you can get him in the third round. I think that's probably why I like Gunnar Helm, because I think he's going to make it to the third for a couple of reasons, a couple of stupid reasons. I think the other guys might go higher than him. I like Gunnar Helm because, one, I like production. Okay, he had a very good year. Okay, he had 60 catches, 780 yards, something like that, maybe 760 yards, somewhere in the 700s, and 7 touchdowns. This was the only year he really produced, but tight end is kind of funny to me because he hasn't been the starter. He was sitting behind other guys that were pretty good. When he was a junior, it was Sanders, who got drafted by the Panthers this past draft. He finally gets a chance to be the guy, and he showed out really, really well on an offense that was explosive, that had a lot of weapons. So 60 catches, 700 and something yards, and 7 TDs, pretty good. I like him because he played in the offense that, the run scheme, very similar to what Kyle Shanahan is going to do, a lot of zone blocking, okay? And he's a very good blocker, very good blocker, very good run blocker, knows how to gain leverage on the run in that zone scheme. So I'm a fan of his for a couple of those reasons. I think he's really good. And if you watch how they featured him at Texas, like he is they trusted him is what I'm trying to say. Sarkisian was making it a point to get him the ball at times. Now he's gonna slide a little bit than I think he would have, because he did not run well at the combine. He ran a 4.8 40 at the combine. I think that's going to cause him to fall, and I don't think it's a good representation of what he really is on the field. He's not a burner by any means, but if you watch these highlights, they're throwing him tight end screens a bunch. They're throwing him. They're finding creative ways to get him the football. And you don't do that if the guy is not explosive at all. So clearly Sarkisian wasn't worried about his speed. He's very natural catching the ball. Okay, he's not he's not a burner. So, in one-on-one man coverage, maybe not his strongest suit, but In zone coverage, like he's great at finding the hole, finding the soft spot in the coverage, and sitting down, using his hands to catch the ball. Like I think he'd be really good. I think he would be fantastic other option to bookend on the offense with George Kittle. Okay, he's just a less explosive version of George Kittle in my eyes, and I would love that. I think that's what I want on my team. Some of the other things, like I like that he played. I'm a Texas fan. Ish, yeah. I like that he played on a team that has been in the playoffs, college football playoffs, and had a lot of success. Played against some of the best in the SEC, made a deep college football playoff run. Like he has seen what it takes to be a part of a winning program. I like that. It's definitely not the highest, it's not the reason you draft somebody. But if you're when you get down to it and you got to compare, okay, who do we like more, Gunnar Helm or Mason Taylor? Gunnar Helm or Arroyo? Like, you're kind of you got to find ways of like how do you decipher between the two, and I think that's a plus for Gunnar Helm. It's a big plus. I get worried about the other guys about their blocking ability. I don't know that Harold Fannin Jr., who I love. If they take Harold Fannin Jr., I'll be excited about. But I don't know how much blocking he did. He played at Bowling Green. The production is out of this world, but he clearly was their only option, and they were force feeding him the ball. I love that. He catches the ball really well. What kind of blocker is he? Mason Taylor and Arroyo both had productive seasons. Both are for sure better athletes than Gunnar Helm. Had similar production though. Like Helm had pretty good production even despite his lack of athleticism. I don't even want to say lack of athleticism. Dude is 6'5", 230. So like, how fast can you really be at that size? But do they block as well? My guess is no. My guess is they don't block like Gunnar Helm does. And for those, I also think Gunnar Helm is going to be behind those guys in the draft. I think he goes last out of those four. I think he's the last one taken because I just think teams want a weapon more than the blocking side of things. And no doubt the other guys are more athletic, and so I think you can get Gunnar Helm in the third round, which would be great if you could pair him with George Kittle. And now 49er fans, like, it's just a third round pick, so no one's freaking out. It's the same point I made about if you drafted Tyler Warren. One, if you have two receiving threat tight ends, now Warren's a much better receiving threat than Helm is, but Helm could get the job done too. You know what kind of mismatch that creates, especially when they both can block too. It means on every play you could have two tight ends, two receivers, and you have no idea. The defense doesn't know what kind of package to throw out there, because if you line up two tight ends and they've got like a heavy package in, it looks like a run formation. For most teams, it's a run formation, and they're going to have a heavy package, an extra linebacker, take a DB off the field. Guess what? You can just check to a pass play, or we can scheme into that. Kyle Shanahan knows what kind of package they're going to come out in. You can check to a pass play and make guys who are not as comfortable trying to cover guys, make them go into pass coverage, and you get an advantage that way. Or the vice versa. If they're going to play that extra nickel, that extra DB out there, great. Now we're going to run it down your throats, because both guys can do both things. It's incredible. Now, will they do this? Will they draft Gunnar Helm? I think. Will they draft a tight end? I expect they will, for a couple reasons. One, for what I just said. I think Kyle Shanahan really wants a second receiving threat tight end. Luke Farrell is not that guy, though. He's a great blocker, and I love that signing, especially when we found out his salary was a lot lower than what was originally reported. He's only making like $6 million this year. It's good. Anything to help establish the line of scrimmage, but he's not that much of a receiving threat, so I expect them to draft a guy that can catch the ball. Also, they're going to extend Kittle, but they need someone behind him. Ideally, now Kittle probably has. The lowest amount he would have if he doesn't have any big injuries would be 3 more years. And I expect those 3 years to be really good. He's more likely going to play 5 years, maybe 6, and just see how his production tails off. So maybe it's a little early, but it's just such a good tight end class that I imagine they're going to be looking. Probably not Tyler Warren, but you never know. If depending on how the board falls and no one wants to trade with him, then it's just screw it. He's the highest rated person on our board. We're going to take him. Regardless, you got to have a guy. You got to start thinking, because Shanahan's offense will not work without a tight end. You have to have in his offense. You have to have a guy who can catch the football. And so when Kittle's gone, you can't wait till Kittle retires and then draft a guy. So they have to plan ahead. They've got to be thinking, how are we going to replace Kittle eventually? What are we going to do? And I think you can get him. Now, your third round pick, you've picked 75. You've got pick 100 as of right now. Maybe if you trade back in the first round, you'll get an extra third round pick and you could use that. But you're going to have to use 75 or 100. I don't think I would use pick 43. There's too much need along the defensive line. Maybe at 75 you do, but you might be able to get him at 100. It just depends on how it all falls. So anyway, I'm big on it. I think that is the way, I've said this before, that is the way to evolve and unlock the offense, is you get a second receiving tight end, you cause fear in that defense, they don't know what to do. I think Gunnar Helm would be a great option for that. Great size, very good athlete for his size, great hands, very natural catching the football, and just a great football player. Love to have him. A part of a winning program. They didn't win the championship, but back-to-back playoff appearances, made a deep run in this year's playoff. What more could you want? What more could you want? So anyway, that's all I got for you. Okay. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Please hit that subscribe button if you're here. Like the video. Send it to your friends, send it to your enemies. And that's all I got. Go Niners.